A word about children fasting. Everybody knows that there's a mitzvah of chinuch, which means that it's the obligation of the parent, the teacher, to kind of bring his children along in the matter of mitzvot. So that even though they're not obligated to do the mitzvot before the age of bar and bat mitzvah, we teach them, we help them. We insist, actually, that they do the mitzvot even before that day, and that's what we call chinuch. On Yom Kippurim, on the fast of Yom Kippurim, there's a special discussion in the Gemara about whether the mitzvah of chinuch applies. And the Gemara comes to the conclusion that even though fasting is kind of dangerous for children, and ordinarily I wouldn't want my children to fast, nevertheless, they've discovered a middle road, and they said that when it comes to fasting on Yom Kippurim, there's something called fasting the sha'ot, a partial fast. And we can introduce our children who are close to the age of bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah to the idea that soon they're going to have to fast by helping them to fast several hours. And even though the mitzvah of chinuch is usually exact imitation of the mitzvah that you're going to have to do when you grow up, so if you have to shake a lulav on Sukkot, you have to shake a real lulav. You don't shake a plastic lulav. But that's called chinuch. Chinuch means you actually do the mitzvah. Here, in this case, in the case of fasting, there's a kind of intermediate stage. I don't want my children to fast, but I do want to teach them about fasting. So I do sha'ot. They fast a little bit. And as they get older, a little bit more, until they become of age and obligated to fast. On a ta'anit tzibur, there is no mitzvah of chinuch for sha'ot. A father, the mother does not have to pressure his children to fast a little bit on these fasts. Don't worry. When they become of age, then they will fast, and that will be fine. Nevertheless, these children who don't have to fast at all, right? If they understand that there's a fast, if they know that everybody around them is fasting, maybe it would be reasonable to tell them that they shouldn't eat candy that day, they shouldn't go for the ice cream. I mean, it's not quite fasting, but it's noticing that the range of foods that you eat is a little bit different. And there are some poskim who've suggested that the Magen Avraham, I think, said it, that might be a good idea. And therefore, you could also do chinuch, even though fasting is not what you want to do because it's dangerous. So you could do a certain kind of chinuch with your children by telling them, look, today is a special day. The parents don't eat anything, but the children who do eat should still try to modify their diet a little bit and not eat those foods that are eaten primarily for pleasure.